Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Random Crafty Acts. Welcome back to Random Crafty Acts. This is kind of an extension of a video I did a little while ago, working with JessCraft.com's paper busting template number 6x6, number 49, 6x6. And in the previous video, I altered how I did this part, but I need 2 more cards to reach the number I'm working on today. So I thought I would follow the sketch exactly, and we'll see how it comes out. All right, so the first thing we need to do is take this 6x6. This is a piece of double-sided black and white paper. Okay, and I'm not sure which side I'm going to use yet, and I don't have to be. All right, so according to the template, I need to cut these into the 6 down to 3x3. And I'm going to get that scooch off the end. All right, and then I'm going to cut 2 of them into the 3, so they're the 3x3. Okay. Can leave those whole, and then these 2 okay. I'm going to cut on the diagonal, and when I cut on the diagonal, there are a couple ways you could do it. You could measure it and draw a line. Okay, I just align the points at the edge of this. That works really well with my cutter. If I had my Fisker out, I think I've got a slightly different way I do that, where I can line it up with the tray in the center that the blade is going to go down through. Okay. All right, set that aside, and now we'll put our cards together. If we can figure out what we did, we'll just grab one of them out of this stack over here. Okay, all right, so the first thing I'm going to do is these corner pieces. This is a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. She does not have this on her template. Okay, well, let's dry fit first. Okay, so we can put the black side, solid side up. Okay, so we're going to try this on both of them and see which one we like. I keep checking to make sure I'm in frame, because I've changed my physical setup here a little bit. Okay, I can already tell I like this one better. Let me cover my glue bottle. I keep calling this my ink bottle. It's not. All right, and then these solid pieces I'm going to mat on yellow. Notice I could use either, and I can already tell that's not going to work very well. All right, so then I have these black circles, and I'm going to put my happy birthday sentiment in, and I have these little, I think they're kind of, I'm not sure what that is, but I have 2 of them, so I'm going to try this. Okay, well, if we were live, I would make you vote, but I really like the white side up, because this is so much dark that it's kind of hard to distinguish between the two. All right. So I have the card base for this one. These are the envelopes. Those are envelopes. Since we're making, we'll grab one out of here. I have a whole pile of card kits already set up so that I'm working on a batch of cards for my donation box, and I need 30, and I was short 2. So that's why we're doing it this way, because I didn't want to go back in and recreate more cut aparts, the little squares in the center that I was doing. Okay, all right. I use this to keep the glue off of my tabletop. I get these at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. All right, I make these on my Silhouette. These are, I think, 1 3/4 circles with 2-inch mats. Okay. And I'm just going to put the glue on the bottom of the little guy. Line this up. Okay. All right. That's a cute little center. All right. Now this is how she did it. Put this whole piece. And so this way you get 2 cards out of your 6x6 paper. And there's a reason for that. I listened to her one time talk about how there are some card sketches out there where, you know, you can get like 10 cards out of a 12x12 or whatever. And, you know, what she pointed out was that, well, yes, that will work. You can, if you've got a paper pad with 48 sheets, I mean, you're like, I haven't done the math, but that's a tremendous number of cards. And so sometimes when you're just trying to work through your paper, it's nice to be able to only have 2 cards. Now, the way I was making them in the previous video, which I will link below, I was getting 4 cards out of the 6 pieces of 6x6, and that was because I made the center sentiment point, the focal point with the sentiment and everything on it. I made that on my Silhouette. Okay. I like using bright primary colors with black and white. It kind of draws in kind of helps it pop. Okay, again, these black pieces, this black mat that I'm using is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and this is going on an A2 card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That is the size I always make. I have made 5x7s, but they, I can only get 1 card base out of a piece of 8 1/2 by 11 paper, and if I use if I do the A2 cards, I can get 2 cards. Okay, so we'll do this one more time. All right, the centerment in the center here. The little guy here, I've had a lot of questions on where do these come from, because I've got like all the animals. I've got cats and dogs and elephants and everything. I don't know where I got them. I found these in my Silhouette library, which means that I bought them or I found them. I did not draw them some time ago, and it never occurred to me to keep track of where I was getting them. They are images that I cut using the print and cut feature on my Silhouette, which is a feature I'm sure you would be able to find on a Cricut. The other question I've had is, why don't you color them? And the very honest answer is because I'm not good at that. I know it seems silly. I know everybody learned how to color in kindergarten or before. But good coloring requires two things. One, a very steady hand, which I don't have a terribly steady hand these days. And the other thing is it requires knowing what colors to put where, and some other skills that I have tried really hard to develop, and so far I've been unsuccessful. So I am always looking for something to keep me on the learning curve, so I've got that on the list of things that I could do. Okay, put this one in the center. But yes, if you were good at coloring, it would be nice to like make this different shades of brown. I guess this is, with these eyes here, I think maybe this is supposed to be a raccoon. I'm kind of surprised he doesn't have any little ears in his image. But he's got these long claws, so I kind of thought maybe he was a sloth. So, not sure. All right. And then I always watch to make sure that my little corners are stuck down. And I use Bearly Arts glue because it gives me the amount of wiggle room that I need in case something doesn't set exactly where it should. For people who do a lot of mask making, they will use double-sided tape, and there are all kinds of things out there that are great tools if that works for you. I tried it. I even bought one of the great big roll things that several people use. I've seen Jess use them. I've seen Christy Marcotte use them. Alicia on Call Me Crafty Al. But I could not get it to work for me. Okay, and that's the stamp that my granddaughter purchased and designed and set up for me. And so it says Random Acts of Kindness Studios. I'm not a studio. Well, I have a little shed, she shed, that I refer to as a studio to make myself feel good about being out here. But it's not a business. It's an act of kindness. Okay, if you've not subscribed to my studio, I would appreciate my studio. Right, not my studio. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate if you would do that. My objective is to get videos about basic craft making out to beginning craft makers, and card makers are one of the directions that a lot of us go when we start doing paper crafting and working with cardstock and colors. And the other thing is that once you start making cards, you end up with a lot of them. I mean, even if you have a lot of friends that you want to send cards to, and so most of us are looking for some place to donate them or something to do with them. Currently, I am sending all of mine to Cards for Kindness, which if you will Google, you will find them, and I will put a link to them in the description box below. Okay? As I will for the template for JessCrafts.com. But again, please, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost anything, and it will help the algorithm like us so we can push this out there. All right. Thank you very much. Have a great day.